Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you had a good slate today. We'll go over my lineup in the next video. I have my lineups from yesterday that we'll go over. And yeah, all these videos that get posted to this Reddit, I make updates with all the news that comes out throughout the day. You can ask me questions leading up to lock about the slate. If you ever need to also get a hold of me, you can get a hold of me on Twitter. Prayers up for DeJounte Murray, man. Just Pelicans are just cursed. My Twitter link will be down below. You can ask me questions or you can just message me, whatever, either or. And then if you're looking for more in-depth content, I'll have my Discord link down below as well. So, didn't have a good main slate, but did have a good night slate. That's night. Yeah, I just LeBron. No, wait. Did I just open the same two things? Okay, here we go. Yeah, Lakers blowout. Jonas Valanciunas just did me in. There was no surviving that. Got low on Tari Eason correctly. Jaren Jackson Jr. had a bad game. Luke Kennard was fantastic. But Jonas and LeBron were just too much to overcome for my lineup. And then night slate had a really good night slate. I was this close to banking. I needed 7 fantasy points from Franz Wagner, and he got pulled with 6 minutes left, I think it was. Nobody had Franz above me either, so had a really good chance of taking this down. Did Astro have him? No. Looks like nobody had. Oh, okay, this guy had Franz. That hurts a little bit less, but yeah, man, could have got just a median. Like give him his 6 minutes, and I'm probably taking this or at least second place. So yeah, would have needed 4 fantasy points in 6 minutes. It hurts. But yeah, pretty good salvaging night slate. Thank God. I am nuking today. Played Kyrie Irving. Seems like everyone on the slate is having a really good game though. So it's not. We'll just see at the end of the slate. I need Kyrie at 5% to just drop a nuke. And then I'll be cooking. Because I slammed Kristaps Porzingis. Who else did I play? Kelly Oubre. I slammed. He's having a great game. Who else? Musa Diabate. He's only 30% owned. So like I have some players just cooking, but the entire slate is nuking. So we'll just see at the end of the video or end of the slate, and I'll show you guys tomorrow how I ended up. All right, yeah, let's go over the slate. Back to back here for Denver. I think there's a possibility we could see someone rest on a back to back. I believe they've played a decent amount of games in the past couple days, I want to say. Seems like they've been on the slate like every other day. 29th, 31st, 20. Yeah, they've been playing a ton of games. I wouldn't be surprised if like someone rested here for Denver. But yeah, fantastic matchup. He should be able to nuke Taj Gibson, Musa. He's the best bet up on the slate. If he plays tomorrow, which I would suspect he does, I think it's a small chance someone sits. But yeah, assuming he plays, I'm going to be going out of my way to play Nikola Jokic tomorrow. I don't think it's even close. I think Kat and Jokic are my 2 favorite spend ups on the board today. I absolutely love Nikola Jokic here. I think he's absolutely fantastic. I think Jamal Murray's just way too cheap at 7.52K. So these two guys look great to me. I think Russell Westbrook's playable at 6.4K. I think I'd rather spend up for like the extra money for Jamal Murray, but I don't mind that either. Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon's off his minutes limits. He's been starting. He's having a bad game tonight, but I'm fine going right back there. I think he stands out as one of the better value plays on the board. I'm not going to go to Christian Braun. And then, yeah, this price point on MPJ does seem a tad bit too cheap, although he's been really, really bad. Not going to mess with like Peyton Watson, Julian Strother. All right, Charlotte looks like LaMelo and Mark. We'll see if Mark Williams plays. I would suspect that he's going to be out tomorrow. But we'll go over it both ways. If Mark is out, then we know what to do. Then Moose is going to look like a great value once again. I'm not going to play Taj Gibson. Josh Okogie got hurt tonight. We'll see if he plays tomorrow. If he's out, it's just going to be more run for like Josh Green. If he plays, it's a back-to-back. He could sit. Nick Smith will get more run. So I'll make updates when we do get the news. But yeah, Okogie did leave the game tonight. We'll see if he plays tomorrow, and I'll make updates. But yeah, good spot going up against Denver. So like Miles Bridges is going to lead the offense, do everything for this team. I was underweight to him tonight. I said if he was somewhat popular tonight, I thought he was a pretty bad play. I think he's having a pretty good game. But yeah, fine matchup going up against Denver. I think he's a good play. 9K getting to the price point to where I think he should be without Mark Williams and LaMelo Ball. And like I said, if Mark's out, then Moose is a great value. We'll see on Josh Okogie. Like Nick Smith Jr., Mitchich, I don't really know at these price points if they have the ceiling to absolutely nuke you, but they're playable lower owned options. So yeah, that's it if everyone's out. And then if everyone's in, good spot here for Mark Williams. Great rebounding spot as well. Denver's been bleeding rebounds to opposing centers. You could see him have a monster game if he is not on some type of limit. So I don't mind that. I think 8-4 is like, getting up there in price point. Then I probably wouldn't get to any of this value. All right, moving on to Brooklyn. Not a good spot here. It is a particularly fine spot to good spot here for D'Angelo Russell. We do have Ben Simmons playing, but D'Lo should play around 30 minutes, 25 to 30 minutes as long as there's no blowout. His role is absolutely elite right now. The price point hasn't moved, so I am a big fan of D'Angelo Russell tomorrow. Claxton at 6K, don't love it. I think, kind of depends. The minute ceiling isn't really there for him, but should play around 30 minutes. I think 6K is a reasonable price point. Not an amazing play. And then they're going to be without Noah Clowney and Day'Ron Sharpe tomorrow. So we'll see. That could bump the minute ceiling for like Nicholas Claxton. They could go smaller. They could play some smaller. But I think with Day'Ron Sharpe out, Claxton should have to play a bit more. So yeah, if you give over 30 minutes to Claxton, he's going to stand out as a pretty good point per dollar play. We'll just see what they do. There, like I said, they could play smaller, etc. Depending on Sengun as well, because Houston will play some Tari Eason, backup 5, so keep an eye on that. If Sengun's out, Brooklyn could definitely go smaller. So I would say if Sengun's in, I like Claxton a lot more. If Sengun's out, I still think Claxton's good. I would just say be a little bit more careful there because then Brooklyn can go a bit smaller. What else do we have here? I think, if you're going to anyone else here, I think it's Zaire, I suppose, but nothing amazing. I think my favorite plays here are just really into D'Angelo Russell. I think Claxton's good. He would be a lot better if Sengun is out on the other side of this game. Or Sengun's in, apologies. Moving on to Houston. So, yeah, Sengun, 9K. She'll play low 30s minutes. Reasonable spend up. I think I'd rather play Cat. I think I'd rather play Jokic. I think center on this slate's pretty damn good, right? You have Wemby, you have Jokic, you have Sabonis, you have Cat, you have Hartenstein, who I really like. So you have Jonas once again here, Rudy Gobert with no Julius Randle. So center's definitely loaded. Not my favorite center play, but always in play for me. I like Amen. I'm just going to keep saying Amen's a really good play. It's just the minutes. He's playing 40 minutes a game. He can get stats in every category. He can get blocks. He can get steals. He's a great rebounder. Good matchup up against Brooklyn. So I'm really into Amen, even at that price point. Jalen Green's just fine for me at 7-2. He'd be my favorite secondary play outside of Sengun, Amen, Thompson. Good spot for him as well. And then, Dylan Brooks is fine. He's playable. I wouldn't go to much else here, though, if Sengun's in. If Sengun's out, we know what to do. Then I'm going to really... I think Tari Eason's good regardless. I don't mind that. But if Sengun's out, I'm going to really like Tari Eason. Played 30 minutes last game. They're going to use him as a small ball 5. Great point per minute. You give him 30 minutes at this price point, he's going to be a really good play. Steven Adams would be a really good value at 3.8K. Jalen Green I would like quite a bit. Amen Thompson I would really like. And then Fred would be decent. Brooks doesn't really change much for me, but there'll be a decent amount to like here on Houston tomorrow if Sengun gets rolled out. I don't mind some plays if he gets rolled in. Then Jock Landale would be a playable option. All right, so we want to do Sacramento. And, the good thing with Sacramento, even though they're in a really bad matchup here, is they're running their starters into the ground. They're playing Tom Thibodeau minutes. They're all getting 40 minutes a game. So it's not necessarily a good matchup here going up against the Thunder, but I still think these guys are firmly in play. And let's start with De'Aaron Fox at this price point at 7.6. Just a disrespectful price point here. I really like him. He's 7.6K. I know it's not a good matchup. It's just way too cheap of a price point. I'd rather play... If you ask me Jamal or Fox, I think it's close. I'd probably go to the one who is ever lower owned, but... it's just disrespectful price point there. Malik Monk running the point for this team, playing big minutes. I have no issue with that. I think DeMar's a little bit too cheap. Sabonis, probably my least favorite of the main guys. Keegan, going to play close to 40 minutes as well. I think he's a decent point per dollar value. So even though it's a really bad matchup, I still think these guys are perfectly fine. And if you're playing large field, I would definitely play a little bit of these guys, especially De'Aaron Fox at that price point. Just so disrespectful. Moving on to OKC, a good spot here for the Oklahoma City Thunder. I think SJ is a good contrarian spend up. Once again, not my favorite, but he's just doing everything for this team right now. Jalen Williams is playable at 8-2. Decent last piece in type deal for me. He'll probably be pick up a little bit of ownership tomorrow, so I don't mind that. Hartenstein, 7-2, great rebounder, double-double upside. The minute ceiling isn't, like, huge with him. He'll play low 30s. I think he's decent. Lou Dort, Case and Wallace are both solid values. I think I prefer Lou Dort to Case, but both solid. All right, moving on to Washington. They started Keyshawn George last game. I would suspect Malcolm Brogdon is going to remain out for this game. We already have Sarr ruled out, so who's ready to get absolutely killed by Jonas Valanciunas again? I'm going to say it once again here. If he stays out of foul trouble and the game stays close and you give him his 30 minutes, he's probably going to do really well at this price point. And his ownership is going to be extremely, extremely low tomorrow because he's burned everyone back-to-back slates. I'm fine going right back there. I will probably be going right back there, although the matchup not amazing. And if they keep this game close, they'll play these starters big minutes. Like if you're playing some Minnesota pieces, which you're going to need tomorrow, maybe playing like a Poole could be smart, or like a Kuzma. Cooley's playable. Keyshawn George started. I'm not excited about the value. We're just going to have so much better value, but Keyshawn did start last game. All right, moving on to Minnesota. Randall out. Dante DiVincenzo going to remain out for this game. We got to keep an eye on Mike Conley. Mike Conley's the big one. If he is out, I absolutely love Nickeil Alexander-Walker. I think Rob Dillingham's a good value. And then regardless, I love Anthony Edwards in a fantastic matchup tomorrow. I really like Rudy Gobert. I really like Naz Reid. I think McDaniels is playable, but my least favorite of those three. Like I said, I love NAW if Mike Conley's out. And then Rob Dillingham would be a really good value. If we get Mike Conley in, I still think Naz is a good value. I probably just wouldn't play Rob. I think Mike Conley would be playable. And I still love Naz Reid, still really like Rudy Gobert, and still love Anthony Edwards. You're definitely going to need some Timberwolves in your lineups tomorrow. All right, moving on to Miami. I think everyone looks pretty good here. Like Tyler Herro going up against the Spurs. Spurs play a decent amount of drop. Herro really good against drop. So I think Herro's a good contrarian spend up on this slate. Bam Adebayo at 7-7. I'm not as excited about the bigs as them and like Tyler Herro. Khalil Ware, really tough matchup, but we know he's a good point per minute guy and can play big minutes as long as the game stays competitive and the ceiling is massive. So if I had to pick one, I think it would be Ware. If you have to throw darts on like Duncan, Terry Rozier, I think it's okay. Duncan minutes could be up and down, just depends on how he plays. Terry Rozier up and down. The betting scandal just wild. More larger field values for me. All right, Spurs here. Wemby's a good contrarian spend up. Like I said, I think I give the edge to Jokic. Back-to-back here, I don't know if we'll see anyone sit. Some of these values were chalk tonight. I just didn't understand it. But like Sochan, his minutes are upticking. I think he's solid contrarian value. I'm not going to play Barnes. I think Castle's just decent. It's just a really bad matchup, though. Chris Paul does seem a bit too cheap. Same with Vassell. If these guys are going to pick up like a lot of ownership tomorrow due to the price points, I'm fine just being underweight to them. But if they're a low owned, yeah, I don't mind like Vassell, Chris Paul, Steven Castle. All right, Lakers, another team. They're going to be without AD, so LeBron looks like one of the best spend-ups on the slate. Austin Reeves is fine. Don't love the matchup going up against the Knicks, and he is almost 9K, but still fine. And these values, I like Jackson Hayes quite a bit for value of 4.6K. Assuming Dorian Finney-Smith is out. So if Dorian Finney-Smith is out, I like Jackson Hayes quite a bit for value. Not as excited about Max Christie, but he's playable. Rui, Austin Reeves, LeBron going to run the show here. He'd be a good point per dollar play. Dalton Knecht would be playable. Shake Milton had a really good game. I don't know if I want to chase that, but large field play is fine. And then if we get like Dorian in, I'd be less excited about like Max Christie. I still think Rui's good. Top two guys don't change for me. Jackson Hayes would still be solid. A little bit of a downgrade though. And Dorian himself, wouldn't go to Knecht. So, I think it's going to do it. I think I wouldn't say any of these guys are musts, but I think Lakers are good tomorrow. And then we go up to the Knicks. Josh Hart, questionable. He's going to play tomorrow. He's been questionable every single game. Cat, I love. I just love. He's going to be able to feast on Jackson Hayes. He's going to be able to feast on whoever they put up against. I love Karl-Anthony Towns tomorrow. Great rebounder, going to get you a double-double. His assist rate's been really high of late as well. Should play big minutes. I'm a huge fan of Cat tomorrow. I think Brunson's really good as well. So, really like both the top two guys here. Mikal OG, Hart, same breakdown as always when this team is healthy. They all look similar to me. I think I just prefer Hart. Always find his filler plays, but don't love them, right? That's going to do it for the slate. Hopefully you guys had a great night tonight. And as always, I will talk to y'all in the next video.